The English often catches players off guard and can lead to strong queenside pressure. Strong pawn on e5 is a main idea of the English opening. It grabs space and allows you to clamp down on d4. Knight c3 attacks the d5 square and starts the fight for the e4 square. Your best move was to develop a knight and attack the center. Their best option was to develop a knight and attack the center. Developing the knight and increasing influence in the center. This move fianchettos their bishop, placing it on a strong diagonal. Your move grabs central space and helps your other pieces get active. Their better move was to strike at the center with a pawn. Your best move was to kick a knight. Their better move was to develop a knight and attack the center. You exchange pieces of equal value. A straightforward recapture. You develop a bishop, which means you move it from its starting position. Their knight comes into play, attacking the center. You found a safer square for your pawn. This move puts their knight on a safer square. Smart move, reinforcing your pawn with extra protection. They are threatening to capture a pawn and win material after the follow-up trades. Castling protects your king and activates your rook. They capture your pawn and will win material after all trades are completed. Connecting your rooks is a great way to help them work together. They bring out their bishop, increasing their control over the center. From an equal position, you've slipped into a losing spot. Their better move was to move a knight to safety. You recaptured. Another piece joins the board for your opponent. You are threatening to win a pawn through a fork. Their bishop is now on a more active square. You made it so your opponent cannot castle. They kick your bishop with a pawn, forcing it to move or be captured. Your best move was to move a bishop to safety. A clear recapture. Your better option was to take an open file with a rook. Their best option was to move a rook to safety. Good job defending that pawn. Moving their threatened rook to safety. You missed a better way to take an open file with a rook. There was just one move that worked for them, and this wasn't it. No surprise, you had to move your knight to safety. That's not a mistake, but they did not find the best move here. You kicked your opponent's piece from that square. A correct move to get their bishop out of harm's way. You are threatening to win a pawn through an eventual fork. They exchange pieces of equal value. A clear recapture. They unpinned their pawn, allowing it to provide protection where it's needed. They unpinned their pawn. With the right follow-up moves, you can use a fork to win material. A straightforward recapture. Nice fork. You'll be winning a pawn. This move puts their rook on a safer square. You captured that free pawn. Their king steps away from the check by your bishop. Correct, of course. Move away from danger. They move their king out of the check from your rook. You found a safer square for your bishop. That's playable. You are threatening to win a bishop through a fork. Their bishop is now more active on this square. Your piece jumps in to protect a pawn. Clearly, you don't want to leave your pawn in danger. They made one of the top moves in this position. Activating your king is critical in the endgame, and getting it off of the back rank is the first step. They played one of the best moves here. Your rook eyes the open file, which helps control critical squares. They stopped the check by interposing a piece between your rook and their king. Good job. That's what I would have played too. Precise move from your opponent. This blocks the check from the rook. This is a fair trade. You recaptured the piece. moving their bishop to a better position. This is a fine move. They've placed their bishop on a strong outpost, where it can't be challenged by a pawn. You dodge the check, moving your king out of harm's way. They played the strongest move available. For sure you had to move away from the threat. I like their choice. Yes, this is the way. Your opponent creates a pawn chain, making their structure more robust. You trade off equal material. A clear recapture. Very good choice. They made one of the top moves in this position. Nice. Definitely the right move. Decent move, but they had a better one. Good job. That's what I would have played too. Their better move was to increase a bishop's scope. By moving, that pawn was yours for the taking. Defending their hanging pawn. The game is still close to equal, but you lost your advantage. Moving their threatened bishop to safety. Yes, this is the way. They are right on target. Not the best move, but not bad either. They played one of the best moves here. You apply pressure to your opponent's pawn chain. They exchange pieces of equal value. You moved quickly, missing the only good move. This is the only move that works. Pushing their... You captured a free pawn. A correct move to get their pawn out of harm's way. Your opponent has to watch that passed pawn. The pawn is now promoted to a queen. Passed pawns must be pushed. You are going to lose your pawn to this fork. You step your king away from the checking queen. They found a way to win your bishop. You escape the check from the queen. Capturing your hanging bishop. You permitted the opponent to force eventual checkmate. That's not a mistake, but they did not find the best move here. You allowed the opponent to force eventual checkmate. That's playable. You permitted the opponent to force eventual checkmate. This forces an eventual checkmate. This was the only move. This move still keeps their checkmate plan on track.